G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today I've got a little maiden video flying around the hour with a GoPro and also inside, which I'm pretty excited about. Instead of putting some music on in the background or anything like that, I thought I'd tell you guys a story. Enjoy! Okay, so this story is, I was probably about 15 at the time, and my sister, she's about 4 years younger than me. We're living in this place called Park Street, sort of in like country New South Wales in the middle of Australia. It wasn't very exciting or anything like that. It was just like a small little town. And it was one summer, we lived in like this two-story house, and it had sort of a big yard, and you could sort of walk up the side of the house. And there was like a sort of a long corridor, or sort of like a service alley where you could service all the hot water system and things like that. Anyway, my sister found a can of spray paint one time, and she went outside, and from the kitchen window, if you went over and you looked out the kitchen window down at a specific angle, you could actually see the sort of service alley where the fence was and things like that, but most of the time you just walk straight past it. Anyway, so my sister found this can of spray paint, and she went outside, and she wrote in huge letters, probably like half a meter high per letter, and she wrote Susan. So she's probably like 11 years old or 12 years old or something like that. Old enough to know better. Anyway, she wrote Susan in these huge big black letters all across the fence. And she was a pretty good kid too. I don't know why she actually decided to do that. She must have known it was naughty or something like that. Anyway, she took a step back, and then she sort of admired her work and what she'd done, and she thought, oh, bugger, this is that's that's a pretty big bit of graffiti. So she didn't want to get in trouble, and it was just me and my sister and my mum and stepdad, and so Susan thought, well, who can I blame this on? And she thought, somehow I've got to get Stuart involved in this. I've got to get Stuart in trouble. So then, on top of where she's written Susan, on top of that and above that, she decided to write in even bigger letters, Stuart and. So then the entire graffiti read Stuart and Susan. So she thought that was great, and never told anyone. And then about 2 days later, my mum was cooking dinner or something like that, and for some reason looked out the side of my house, and I just heard all this yelling. And Mum used to yell and call us Stusen, because that was a lot easier than saying Stuart or Susan, and we'd both feel like we were both getting yelled at. So she yelled out Stusen, and then she started yelling out, Stuart, what have you done? And I got dragged into the kitchen, and my mum was like, how could you do this, blah 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 blah, carrying on about how much money it's going to cost to clean, and I shouldn't really be doing graffiti or anything like that. My mum was pretty strict, and I feel like I was a pretty well behaved kid. And then I looked out, I'm like, what are you talking about, Mum? And she said, look what you've done, spray painting your name and everything on the fence, and da 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 da, and started to grill me about high school and I shouldn't be doing this. And then I looked out and saw what my sister had done. So then I had to sort of try and plead that it wasn't me, and my sister didn't own up for about a week until I finally, I think Gil got too much of her, and she finally did tell Mum that it was actually her who spray painted the fence. Anyway, that's just a short little story from my life. Subscribe for more FPV related content. I hope you like this story a bit better than the music, and as always, happy flying!